taking the time to join us today. I know it's a busy week right before the holidays, so we appreciate you carving out a few moments on your schedule to walk through this, and hopefully you'll find that it was time well spent. Um, so I am a product specialist for our intelligence solutions, and today we're going to be going over Sage Enterprise Intelligence. So for those of you who have seen it, then it may see some familiar things. And for those of you that haven't, I think you'll find that this can be a very powerful solution for expanding your analytic capability with the data that you're capturing day in and day out for your ERP or extended solutions. So just going to go through a few slides here in a presentation before we actually jump into the software itself, just to kind of lay some framework for the actual product. So really just want to start out and take a few minutes to talk about what business intelligence is and really how important it is for you in the future of your business as part of a comprehensive BI tool for your ERP solution. And this always brings to mind a quick story that I like to share, but I think it really brings home how important it is to harness your data and have it under control now before it's too late. And two companies always come to mind, is Blockbuster and Netflix, and I'm sure we've all heard of them, especially Netflix and the success they've had over the recent years. And they've got over 60, 70 million subscribers with a very easy to use solution, streaming content, mail order movies. Blockbuster obviously been around for quite a while, once the world's largest movie rental company. But really when you stand back and take a look at both of these organizations, there's one glaring difference between them, and that is that by the time Blockbuster realized that Netflix stole their customer base that they worked so hard over the years to earn and finally decided to change their business model, unfortunately they realized it was too late, and as a result we don't see too many Blockbusters on the street corner these days. And as the great Lou Holtz once said, in this world you're either growing or you're dying, so get in motion and grow. But you don't know if you're growing or dying until you can see the data that supports that, but not just see it in a timely manner, and most importantly in a format that you understand and that makes sense to you. So what we see here on the screen now are some numbers, and business intelligence is really all about putting data into context, but most importantly getting it out in a way that we can ultimately make some more informed, timely, strategic business decisions. So I've got a few examples here of taking these numbers and putting them into context. And these numbers represent how we're looking at data in our systems today. It's very transaction-based, transaction-heavy. A lot of times we're even too close to the numbers to understand what's really going on or what trends may exist within the business. And most importantly, what impact the changes that we do implement in our business will cause now and over the course of time. So let's say, for example, these were an increase in sales of a product SKU over the past 6 months. Immediately your brain begins working. You start thinking strategically. These numbers are going up over time, period over period. It may tell me I need to stock more of an item because something's obviously increased my sales. But at the same time, I need to know what happened that increased my sales. What caused this? Was there a new sales rep, a new promotion or marketing campaign? I want to know more. I want to dig deeper into the details and find out why this has happened and ensure that I'm running my business optimally and that I'll be able to handle this increase in demand. So secondly, maybe it's a count of sales invoices entered over a 6-month promotional period. Maybe this promotion is working, maybe it's not working, but what it does mean is if these numbers here represent the volume of transactions over time, I might need to look at increasing my headcount to manage this transaction volume. What if this is just one promotion and over the next few months I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 planned? How will that affect my volume? And third, maybe it's an increase in freight costs from my overseas suppliers for the last 6 purchases. So again, I start to think a little bit differently now. What are these increased costs representing? Did the supplier use different freight forwarding company? Do we have a different broker for importing these goods? Is there an increase in costs arbitrarily because of the purchases we have or haven't made with them? So maybe this is a great time to discuss my contract with the supplier and say, look, I do have an increase in volume here, and maybe we can lower our costs based on this increase. And finally, maybe it's an increase in manufacturing output over a 6-week shift realignment. So I decide to adjust my shift scheduling for optimal performance, and these numbers may represent the increase in production from that adjustment. So again, the numbers alone don't really tell the story or give us insight into our business. But when we put these numbers into context to make sense of the data that we are capturing in our systems, that's what's really going to empower us to make better decisions, operate more efficiently, and if we're doing these things, we should be able to improve our bottom line. So I've got some statistics to back this up as well. And I find these quite interesting. And the first one is that 46% of small and medium-sized businesses recognize that they aren't using their data to make data-driven business decisions, which means they really don't understand the impact of the decisions they're making. So they're just making an educated guess about the future or decisions based on history. The second one, a third of managers say they need more analysis to make better decisions. So not only are we not mining the information that we do have, but the little mining we are doing isn't enough to make the strategic business decisions that we need in today's business world. And then finally, and I find this one very interesting, is that only 12% of businesses are able to assess their marketing influence on sales and pipeline. So they really don't even understand the impact of the dollars they're spending to promote their products and services and what that has on the organization. If you think about the amount of money that some companies spend to promote the products and services that they run their business on, that 12% can be a rather large number. So again, just further confirmation that although we have the information right at our fingertips, it's in our Sage software or other databases that we're using in our business, we just aren't able to extract it in a way that makes sense in a format that allows us to analyze it properly, and of course in a timely manner. So I've got one last interesting piece of research that was done by a company called the IDG Group, and it showed us that with improved data quality, usability, accessibility, and intelligence, companies like yours could expect a net gain of 35% in incremental revenue year over year, all from just having a better grasp on the data that they're already capturing in their systems that they're using today. So really quite an impact that you can recognize from just a little bit of changing in how you run the business, the type of reporting that you're using, and really giving everybody more confidence in the data that they have and the reports that you're using to make these decisions in the fast-paced business world that we live in today. So what we're all here to learn about today is really what is Sage Enterprise Intelligence, and it's very simple. It's a tool that's really going to empower us to build reports with the data that we need for specific roles within our organization. So it's going to help reduce all the time you're spending on analytics because this data is going to be delivered in real time and obviously in a format that you've designed that's meaningful to you. So these reports can be broken out by role within the organization to really make sure that you're only seeing the information that's relevant to the decisions that you're trying to make. And the key to Sage Intelligence is empowering your users with a tool that gives you the ability to just drag and drop information on the fly, have it updated in real time. Gone are the days of submitting ad hoc requests for data and then taking time to massage this data, get it into a format that makes sense. So everybody will be able to share this information across the organization. It's a very powerful distribution utility that helps get this information into the hands of anyone that needs it to make these critical business decisions. Some additional tools that you'll find within the software are the ability to provide comprehensive data and analytics across multiple data sources, so you really aren't just limited to the data within your Sage database, but if you have any other products you're using to run your business that contain data in their own database, we can connect to multiple data sources with Sage Intelligence, Sage Enterprise Intelligence to bring that data in here for use either alongside your Sage data or even just by itself, but harnessing the functionality that Enterprise Intelligence can provide as an analytics solution. Being a Sage solution, obviously we give you direct connectivity to your ERP database, so all the real-time information that you need built exactly to your specifications. We can build things like dashboards, pie charts, graphs, even get more advanced with things like geospatial analysis, which probably sounds a little complex, but really what it does is plot your numbers against latitude and longitude. So if I wanted to take a look at my sales, for example, on Google Maps, really visualize where I have got good penetration within the country, where maybe I need to focus a little more time if I'm trying to expand my reach. That's a great way to do that as well. Not only that, we do have the ability to report on big data, obviously a big buzzword these days. So we've got an OLAP manager that you can take advantage of. So we can get into data warehousing and data cubes, which can be very, very powerful. So an extremely powerful solution that you can pretty much bring in any kind of data from anywhere and report on all of it in real time. So when you're using Sage Enterprise Intelligence, there's three interfaces that we can interact with the tool, and some of them have varying levels of interaction and functionality. First one I'm going to talk about, and the one that everybody will at least have one user license for as a requirement, is the web interface. So unlike Sage Intelligence, if any of you have seen that, this is a fully web-enabled solution. So you don't have to have access to the ERP. It's a separate application that you launch from your desktop. Any browser is HTML5 capable can access the solution. So you'll probably spend most of your time, if you're someone that's creating and designing reports, in this web interface. Very easy to use and navigate. Browser level access, again, all secure with login information for anyone that's going to be using it. You manage all your reports, dashboards, filter and pivot data, assign distribution rules, all from within the web browser. The second interface that we have is our mobile interface. So this gives everybody immediate access to real-time information from any kind of mobile device. There's no app to download. It's a mobile formatted URL, so it's browser and device agnostic. So if you have field employees out in the field that want to have access to customer information or any kind of information that you can pull from your ERP or connected products, this will give you the ability to analyze and view this data easily and instantaneously from the field or from anywhere that you've got connection. So you can run reports from the mobile device as well. Very easy to use and work with. Now, you aren't going to be able to create reports from the mobile device, so think of it more as a viewer. You still can drill down, drill around within the reports, filter and pivot, but there's not going to be any report building from the mobile device. And then finally, one thing it's hard not to talk about when we're talking about business intelligence is Excel. And because the majority of users have to crunch numbers, typically they use Excel to do that. So we can empower our enterprise intelligence users with a dynamic and powerful means of accessing this data in real time in an Excel interface. So it gives you the same level of access as the web user, with the exception of some of the security profiles and connecting to multiple sources. But once you have all that set up in the web profile, you have the same level of functionality right within an Excel workbook, if you will. And we've got some templates that are built that I'll show you here in a few minutes. One of the other great things is because it's not embedded into the ERP itself, you don't require an ERP license. Also, in regards to licensing for enterprise intelligence, you can mix and match the licenses. So you may have people in finance that really want to live in an Excel world. You may have people in other areas of business that want to do more dashboarding and things like that, so they may just focus on the web portal. Or you may have people in the field that only need access to the mobile portal. They're not going to be creating reports. They just need to be able to view customer data or product data or product information from anywhere on a mobile device. So everybody can have their own way to access the system, but all get to the same data. You can create the reports in the web portal and publish them to Excel or to mobile. So it makes it very easy to use and interactive. So without further ado, why don't we take some time now to jump into the software itself, which is what everybody has joined to probably see today. So we'll spend a few minutes and the remaining time mostly that we have here today to go through the product, show you how the reports are run and created, and how easy it is to use the tool. So let me jump over into Sage Enterprise Intelligence here. So you can see here we are in the tool here. I'm using Internet Explorer, but again, this can be used on any type of browser, Chrome, Firefox, whatever your preference may be. But again, there is a login screen. I just already logged in to save us some time here today during the presentation. You can see it's got a nice ribbon bar across the top. It looks very similar to something like Outlook or Excel. Most people have a level of comfort with those tools. So when they're designing enterprise intelligence, they're trying to keep it in a format that's consistent with other tools that you may use on a daily basis. So there's various different functions that all can be accessed here from this top ribbon bar. On the left-hand side, you can see we've got what we call our command center. The command center is what houses all the report templates and processes that you need to create these templates. So you can create as many folders in here as you want so that you can organize all your reports in a way that's easy for you to find them, so that you're not digging around looking through here for all the reports that you created. Although at the same time, you do have the ability to mark reports as favorites. So on the favorites tab here, you can find the reports that you use most frequently. So once you use it for a while, you've got a bunch of reports designed, mark them all as a favorite, and then you can just access the favorites tab and find all the reports you use most frequently. But we're going to start out within today here is just in the command center, and I'll expand on accounts payable here. You can see I've got several different processes, and you may recognize some of these names based on the Sage ERP database. You can see vendor statistics, posted transactions, invoice batch, payment batch. If I expand on these further, you can see the reports that are beneath each of these processes. Opening up any of the reports is and running the reports is just as simple as double-clicking on any of them. This one is a vendor invoice trend report. You can see that the icon here indicates what type of report we can expect. So there you can see the report launches rather quickly. Very easy to get into the reports. No long drawn-out process to run the reports. And more importantly, it doesn't take long for the report to generate either. So you'll see the performance is really fantastic across the board. So you can see we have some other processes here. Accounts receivable, we have AR reports or cash flow, where we have some cash flow, basic cash flow statement type reports in here as well that all can be accessed with a click of a button. And we've got some more reports here, of course, under finance and the different financial areas, budget, detailed transactions, account summaries, and so forth, actuals and budget. One of the other things that's nice about the flexibility of Sage Enterprise Intelligence is we do have the ability to do some budgeting and push data back into Sage 300. So where you wouldn't have that capability, maybe with Sage Intelligence, but with Enterprise Intelligence, we can push back into the database if you desire. Lots of sales type reporting that's available here as well. You can see various different types, charts, graphs, plots. First one we see here is a sales by item pie chart. We can look at different areas and drill down into the chart as well, just by clicking on an area. It then drills down. So I can continue drilling down depending upon how many different groups I've got built into this particular report. So I'll show you what I mean by that. If I bring up my sales history report here, you can see the different groups, pivots, and columns that I've got within the report. This one, obviously, I've got fiscal year and period, so that's essentially my level of grouping. So if I were to click here on this arrow for fiscal year, it would then drill me down to fiscal period. And from fiscal period, I can see within fiscal period all that data for the customer, location, document, sales, returns, net sales, cost of sales, and quantity sold. Now, if I wanted to take this to another layer, maybe I want to do fiscal year, fiscal period, and then let's say salesperson code. I can drop that right here in my groupings, and now I've got another level of drill down available to me. So fiscal year, fiscal period, and now I get down to my sales rep level. Maybe if I don't want to have the sales rep, I want to have the sales rep first and start in that order, I can just simply drag this to the first level of drill down. And now I start out at the salesperson level. And then I can drill down from the salesperson to the fiscal year to the period. So those are the different dimensions that I have in here. So those are basically the different fields that you might have within the database. Measures are obviously things that are more like a calculation, which is why you see that sort of measure or square symbol there. So you can see I've got a couple of different calculations that are part of this particular report with my sales returns, net sales, cost of sales, quantity sold. And you can drag in as many of those as you want. Maybe you want to see a profit percentage here. I can drag that in here, and then we have another column that shows us our profit there. Or maybe you want to delete some of them. It's as easy as just Xing that off, and that column's then removed from the report. So it's very easy to drag reports, drag and drop and create reports in here, pivot in a number of ways. You can, if you want to pivot on something, it's just as easy as dragging it to the pivot category here. And then we see that we're pivoting here by customer number. So a Bargain Mart customer, our Bargain Mart Oakland, San Diego, Ronald Black, Acme, and so forth. Or maybe you want to pivot on location rather than customer. Now we have it broken out here by our location code, or just in this case, our different warehouses that we have. So another report here is a sales by item or a list. One of the nice things that you can also do is you can create custom formatting or column formatting. So you can see I've got some formatting happening here on my sales calculation, and this is a great way to draw out some things that you may be seeing within a report that you want to make sure aren't overlooked based on the set of criteria. Very easy to do as well. Just highlight the item that you want to add some formatting to. I right-click on them. You can see I've got column formatting. Here you can see the different conditions that I put on this particular column. If I go highlight one of these, I can show you how this was created. So I've taken this based on the profit percentage and said the value in the cell is anywhere between 0 and 0.49. It's going to give me a red icon, some red text, and this is a little preview window of what it will look like. I've got some other ones in here for cell value between 0.5 and 0.74, and then anything greater than or equal to 0.75 is a green. And that's, again, just all being based on profit percentage in this case. I could do it on any of the dependent columns. Any of the columns that I've got in this report here, you can see I've got sales, profit, returns, cost of sales, quantity sold, and profit. So I could do this on any of those. They'll be part of that list as long as they're a column within the report. So again, a great way to be able to draw out anything that you want to make sure is sort of highlighted within a report whenever you're working with that. Another one we have in here is our sales by location report. This is a great little report here as well. And these reports all can be, again, modified and created very quickly. This one just breaks out by location, of course, and then we see the various items under each location, so pretty simple. Now, obviously, these reports we've been looking at so far, with the exception of that pie report, all in sort of a worksheet style or view. A great thing we can do here is if we are looking at something like this location report, which is obviously broken out by our different warehouses, maybe I want to look at that in a different format. So maybe I want to see this in a bar chart. I can just go over here to View Type, select Bar, and then it changes it to a bar chart. Or maybe I want to see it in a stacked line or a pie. I can see it in any of those ways, and I still highlight over that. You can change these labels so you can see what this piece of the pie is made up of. I can still drill down on that piece of the pie if I need to see more or less information. If I want to drill back up, I can do that as well. You can also add filters to this. If I wanted to filter a selection by something, I can just highlight that and filter the selection by that. And then you can see at the bottom, it will tell you what it's being filtered on. So I can clear the filter as well just by hitting the clear filter button here. So all these reports, charts, graphs, plots are all done here, and this is how they're all created as well, just by dragging and dropping from our dimensions and measures over here on the right-hand side. We also have the ability to create user calculations or custom calculations like we have here. I could just hit New Measure and determine how I want to create that. Give it a name, a heading. Is it going to be a numeric, an integer, a date, a time? What kind of characters or data is this field? And then how do I want to format that field? Lots of options for formatting the field in various different ways within here. But once I create that user calculation, I can then save it as part of this particular report, and I can use that within any of my reports as well. So nice to be able to create your own calculations based on whatever you're trying to measure there. Now, obviously, single reports like this are one way to view your data, but we also have the ability to do dashboards. There's a couple different dashboards that are going to be available for you out of the box here within inventory, projects, sales, and so forth. Take a look at one of the sales dashboards here. And the nice thing about dashboards with Enterprise Intelligence is they're super easy to create. So when we're looking at one of these dashboards, really, it's essentially several different reports all in one view. So you don't have to think of it as any kind of complex process to create these. We create all these charts and graphs individually and then drag them into the report, however we want to see them laid out here. You can connect the different pieces of information within the report. So if I want to link this bar chart with this pie graph, so when I drill down by Ronald Black on here, it's going to change the information surrounding this. So now I can see Ronald Black's sales by period here, and the different items that he's selling, and where in the country is he selling it to on my little map here. A great way to be able to create some type of management reports here where they can drill down by item or customer or salesperson to really get that high-level view, but still get into the details whenever the case may be. So I can drill down, continue drilling down here too, if I want to, depending upon the amount of drill down or the groups that I've put into this report. But I can also drill back up here just by right-clicking and drilling up rather than drilling down. So very easy to drill down or around here. If I want to click somewhere, just look into this particular item here. Now it's going to show me the information pertaining to that particular item in each of these various reports here. You can create different types of labels on the top of these reports. Obviously, in this case, we're doing it by fiscal year 2019 and 2020. So I can have the same report and span across multiple years, periods, quarters, budgets, etc., which makes that nice as well. So you don't have to create separate reports for all your different years or scenarios that you may encounter. We've also got some other dashboards that are here out of the box as well. Here's an account balance and gross profit dashboard here under our finance area. This one again has a lot of great information in it, pulling, of course, directly from the database. Again, we can filter this out by fiscal year here, and then populate the data for that particular fiscal year. So you can see it's then pulling this information in here. This one's all broken out by account group code here, where I can pick different areas here and drill into those. If I'd like, I can pick the different periods here. If I unselect these, it will give me less periods, or I can select as many of them as I'd like. And again, we are looking at demo data, so we do see some odd-looking numbers in some cases, but remember that I don't have a fully populated database. Of course, in a real-life scenario, you would have more data in your database than I do here. But I think you get the idea in terms of the power of a dashboard within this tool. So I've also got an accounts receivable style dashboard here that I can run out for you real quick. Got a lot of great information on there for managing your accounts receivable. Again, we can look at the different invoices here with our labels we've done for periods as well as years. So we can look at a different year or period very easily on the fly from this dashboard style report. Then we've got our customer group codes broken out here on this bar chart, where I can drill into either one. If I hover over it, you can see it says my retail sales group and the total amount, or on this one's obviously my wholesale sales group. If I click on that one, then it will obviously allow me to drill down into the different customers in this case. When I continue drilling down to look at this particular courtyard customer, I can see exactly what we have in total invoices for them. Or I can drill right back up to as well if I want to. And this same goes for these charts. If I hover over any of these, I can see more information around the total invoices, and you can customize all these labels within these reports, change the different colors and backgrounds of all of these reports. These are just the examples that we have that are in the tool when it comes out of the box, but of course you can create them to your exact specifications however you want, and again, all the data is going to be in real time across the board. So if I go back into the command center here as well, you can see we've got some more reports here that are broken out in, for example, in this case, our sales history by year, by period, by location. But let's just say, maybe this is a report that we've created for our mobile users, which is obviously another interface we have for this. The mobile interface, again, is just an HTML5 compatible or rendered URL. So you don't need any kind of specific app that you're going to download from an app store or the Apple Store or Android Play Store or anything like that. Again, it's just logged into with the login here. Once you log into this, you'll see all these same folders that we see here within the web interface. It'll just take a second here to log in and authenticate for me. And once I log in, and you just got to kind of picture to yourself that we're looking at this on an iPad. I don't have an actual iPad here. I'm just pulling it up on a browser, since after all it is just an HTML5 formatted URL. But you can see all these processes we see here. I see right here in my mobile interface. I can get into them just like I can here, but again, you're tapping on the screen with your finger on your iPad or Android tablet or mobile phone, whatever kind of device it may be. But I can still get to that same information. So I can get back into this sales information and pull up sales history. And maybe I want to look at this same report, sales history by year, by period, by location. Here it is right here. I can drill right into it, and it'll pull that report up right here on my mobile device. So there I can see very easily the same type of information. If I want to drill down on it, I can highlight the row I want to drill down on, hit my drill down button here, and it takes me into that data. Or I can drill back up as well. Now, if there's something in this report maybe that you don't like or you want to change, maybe I want to see this by location code and then customer number. So I add another level of drill down here, and then maybe I also want to see order numbers in here and salesperson. So I want to start off with my salesperson code here. So I'll just save this real quick. In the web portion. And then I can go back in here to my mobile piece. I can expand or contract that, but we're going to just go back into the sales history process here. And if you go in here now too, I can see I've got sales history by item, by period, by location. But at the very bottom here, I've got the one that I just saved. If I go back into the mobile piece, you'll see I'll have that in here as well. So let me just move this up so we can see that. And we'll run that one out, and now you'll see I've got several levels of drill down available to me here. Since I added them into my report, I can still reorder them on here as well if I want to start with location code, or if I want to start with salesperson code. I can still drill down. If I want to drill down on Bill here, I can highlight his name, drill down into this report, and then go into my location code and then my customer number. So really, it's that easy to create these reports and give people access to them out on a mobile device in the field. Again, we still have the ability to create favorites in here. You can see I've got my AR main board here, so if I wanted to jump into that one on my mobile device, I can jump into that as well. Very easy to get into those reports from a mobile device and navigate around. Again, just pointing and clicking to get in the information that you want. We can drill down and drill around on here, whether it's down by customer or whatever the case may be. You'll see if there's several bars in here that are wider than the screen is, it will give me some paging here so I can scan over to the next page to see the rest of these customers. This one, the labels, we'd have to change maybe on the diagonal so that we can see all the different names and they're not over top of one another. That's just a formatting thing that you can fix in the dashboard properties there of these dashboards, so still easy to work with that. So we can get back here and do all of our different reports. Here's all the different dashboard folders like we had here within the web interface as well. So if I pull up the dashboard tab, you can see all of these different dashboard folders for my different processes, are the same ones that we're going to see right here. So really, you can have access to all the same information from a mobile device that you have from the web device. You just don't have the ability to go in and create reports, but you can still do that filtering, drilling down, drilling around. Now, jumping back into the web portion here, there are some other items within the tool. Under the administration tab, that's where you find the scheduler. So when you're talking about sending all these reports out, obviously you don't want to have somebody sitting there scheduling all the reports to run and send them out every day or every other day or whenever these reports need to go out. So you can schedule these jobs to run whenever you want. And you can create these jobs very easily here, describe what it is, what type of way do you want this to go. You want to export and email it or save it to a network drive. Do you want to, what kind of views do you want to have in here? You can, based on the number of users and their profile, the users and groups within the system, you can schedule one report to go out, and then based on their level of access to the system, that same report, that same process or job property for scheduling and distributing the reports could send out maybe 12 different versions of the same report based on that particular user's level of access to the system. So maybe you're sending out a sales report and you want to send it out to all your reps. So you can send out this sales history report, and in the user admins for each of your sales people, it knows which you define what territory they support, for example, and when it sends out, fires off this job process, it'll generate as many copies of the report as it needs to based on the different geographies that your sales reps may be supporting, and each of them will only get the report that contains the data relevant to their territory. So again, limits the number of reports that you have to create, streamlines how you distribute these reports, and most of all, gets them out to them without any interaction on your part. You can create different conditions for when you want this property to go off. So maybe there's, if revenue drops below X percentage, or if an inventory item is, below a certain stock level, then generate this report and send it to, the warehouse manager, something like that. So you can add all kinds of different conditions for the process and when it should or shouldn't happen. Of course, you can also set a schedule for when do you want it to happen. It's just a one-time thing you want to shoot out. You want it to happen every day, every week, every month. How many times a day? Is it several times a day? Maybe it's something that's really fluid and you want to see it more than once a day. When do you want it to recur? You want this to happen every month? What days? Do you want it to only happen for a certain period of time? Maybe you're monitoring a promotion and the success of that, so you want to run it during that promotional period, but you don't have to worry about coming back in here and removing the process, or deleting the process, or stopping the process. You can set that process to expire whenever you'd like. So a lot of flexibility around distributing and scheduling the running of these reports based on any kind of parameters that you might have. What you'll also find in here is where we manage our different environments. So for those of you that have more than one company in your Sage ERP, or managing data from across multiple companies, of course we have the ability to bring in data from multiple data sources all within the same report. We also can switch from our different companies. You can see here I've got my demo companies in the bottom of my screen, SAM Inc., SAM Ltd., and then a consolidated company. So I'm looking at this report right now for my SAM Inc. company. If I want to look at it for SAM Ltd., I just change my environment, and the data is now indicative of the company SAM Ltd. If I want to look at my consolidated view, I just switch to consolidated, and now I'm looking at a consolidated view of both of those two companies. So it's that easy to jump between companies and put information in, or look at any of our reports for one company versus the other. So you don't have to create separate reports for each of those companies. You certainly can, but you don't have to. You can just switch the environments here, right here. And all the environments are managed here through this environment management console. This is where you can add connections to several different databases. You can see the different databases I have or am connected to here. And you just have to enter in information for them right here as well. Once you do that, you'll have access to all of that data, and you can build out the different processes. If you wanted to get into things like joining data tables, if I were to go into one of my sales processes here in my command center, we can see how that stuff works. If I right-click here on any of these reports, design process, it'll bring up the process for how this particular process was designed. What tables are we connecting to? What fields are we looking for? We can also add in user calculated rows in here as well, but this is how we can bring in or design additional views, table views and processes within Sage Intelligence. So really, you can get any kind of data that you want in here and display it however you'd like to display it. And it all starts from these design processes, which for our integrated solutions 300, 500, we've already done all that back-end work for you. But if you want to bring in additional data from somewhere else, then there will be work like this that'll need to be done to create those tables and views. Now, obviously, there's a few other items that may be interested to you here, different global variables that we can use, links that we can link out to different applications. If I want to create a report and publish it to Excel, I can do that right here with my Excel publishing item. This is also where you find the security and group access for within the product, so where you can define different users and add them to different groups to restrict their permissions or the data that they can or can't see within the solution. That's all done right here from within the security console. And this is why you need this web interface, at least one user of this, because that's where all the administration information is accessed from right here in the web console. Now, like we mentioned earlier as well, it's really hard to talk about business intelligence without having some type of Excel connectivity. So we do have the ability to access that information as well, again, in Excel. So I can just launch Excel here and have the same type of direct connectivity to my database, all these processes from an Excel add-in. Again, it does require some authentication. You can see right here it's bringing up the login window for me here. And once I log into this, I'll have the ability to do any kind of reporting that I want in an Excel based environment. So like I said earlier, if you have people that really want to see this in an Excel fashion, or maybe they're really focused on financials and that the worksheet view within the web portion isn't really designed for financials, although we do have some exciting things coming with some future releases around financial reporting in the web portion. So we'll have a probably in the spring a new release that will enable financial reporting in more of an Excel type look and feel, but in the web portion as opposed to in Excel itself. So little future development that will be happening there. So for those of you with 300 and 500, we do provide you with some financial reports out of the box in the Excel add-in. You can see we're looking at them here. They can all be accessed from this main menu here or just by the tabs at the bottom. They are all dynamic as well. So I can change the fiscal year if I want to look at data across a different time period or a regular financial period as well. If I want to look at it for a different financial period, segments, budgets, all that can be changed here as well. So all of it is sort of point and click here to get any type of updates. Now I don't have any data in 2018, which is why we're seeing a bunch of blanks there. So let me get back to 2020. So that's just a look at the financial performance menu here at the current period and last year, as well as some nice graphs here on the right-hand side. I've got a little income statement in here as well. It's already built for you. It is dynamic, like I said, so if you add any additional accounts, it'll automatically insert that line and bring them into these reports. So the maintenance of this is very easy to work with. Again, it's going to have the year and period here in segments, budget version. Trial balance report. Again, these are all dynamic, so it'll automatically add in anything that may get added into the database itself just by inserting another line here. So keep all the formatting the way that it is and just add additional line in here wherever it needs to. So really don't have to worry about making sure that these new accounts or new assets are added into your report. It'll all be done for you. Balance sheet, obviously broken out by the current month, current year, prior month, prior year, beginning, current, and ending balances for each of those. So a nice view of the current and prior year here. But in an Excel type environment. And then a statement of cash flows, again, operating, investing, financing, and then our net increase cash equivalents at the bottom here. One of the things that you'll find once you use the Excel add-in is under the BI Tools tab here. Under the add-ins tool, you can see our Excel add-in. So we've got our data extraction tool here, which is how we get information into the worksheet. So if I wanted to build my own worksheet in here, I would start by jumping into the data extraction tool. And once I'm in the data extraction tool, all those processes that we saw in the web portion, the processes that we saw in the mobile portion, we see right here within our tool here as well. So here's all my different dimensions, my years, I can add which columns I want to bring into the report. How do I want to order them? Do I want to have a distinct record so I'm not bringing in every one of them or every account? Do I want to order them, group them? How do I want to get this data in here? All can be done right here with the data extraction tool. To add to that, if you're not real comfortable with Excel as well, maybe Excel formulas, we do have a formula wizard, so we can create different formulas and pick, which all kinds of different, fields here. I don't want to do that. Let's just say actuals. Maybe a different option. Do I want this to be a sum, an average, account, count distinct? We can even got a sum reversal in here. So as you know, the revenues are going to come over as a negative. We can use a sum reversal so we don't have to change that, which makes life a lot easier as well. But then you can see all the different dimension settings in here where I'm pulling in different segments, fiscal years, periods, GL accounts, optional fields. So for those of you using user-defined fields in the Sage ERP database, we have the ability to get into those and bring that data in here as well. Not only just in the Excel piece, but as well in the web interface too. So extremely powerful add-in built in here to Excel for those who are very comfortable in Excel and just prefer to do it here as well. Same functionality exists here in terms of bringing in data from multiple sources. It doesn't have to only be from company A, B. It can be a consolidated view, or it can be a single company, all in the same worksheet or in several different worksheets within a workbook. So we've gone over a lot of information here, and it looks like we've just got a few minutes left before we need to wrap up. I want to be conscious of everyone's calendar today. So what I'd like to take the opportunity to do now is, if anybody has any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. If you can put them in the chat window there of on the WebEx, then we can take a look at those questions and see what they are and hopefully answer them for you. Of course, if I don't know the answer of it, I will certainly get the answer for you, and we'll get that to you as quickly as we can. So Elizabeth, do we have any questions out there?
I'm not seeing any questions come in right now, Michael, but sometimes if you're like me, you think of them after the fact, and if you do think of something, it's just very simple. Just email support@Perryman, Perryman -sw.com, and somebody will get back with you shortly about an answer. So thank you so much, Michael. I really appreciate your time today, and I think we're good for now. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you, everyone, for your time today. Have a great holiday, and if you have any questions, as Elizabeth said, just let us know.
Thanks so much, Michael. Bye-bye.